and healthy food. I reported yesterday, Steve, on the the outfall or the outcome of this Fukushima thing, and now bunnies in Japan are being born without ears.
Well, unfortunately, the people in this country are born with ears but choose not to listen, and they're born with eyes and choose not to see. And I'm not trying to make a clever statement on that. The thing is, John, is that the mutagenic nature of radiation, when you hear nationally prominent authoresses saying there is no danger to radiation, when I have two words for that, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I have three words for it, Chernobyl. Now I have four words for it, Fukushima. The thing is that we are seeing right now. Look, here's the deal. You don't think that, let's just follow my train. I'm proposing a train of thought. I'm proposing a hypothesis. You don't think the people that initiated the earthquake in Japan and the tsunami and the following nuclear release of melted down reactors, which, by the way, remember we were told no danger, no meltdown. Now, as of yesterday, they've all melted down and melted through. The point is that these guys know exactly which way the winds are blowing. And if you compare the amount of cesium and you compare the amount of radioactive iodine and some of the other radioactive isotopes compared to the Cold War days of upper atmospheric testing before they went to underground testing of nuclear weapons, we're getting an astonishing off-the-charts dose of radiation. It's going to be mutagenic to pregnant women. Oh, gee, let's go through the scanners at the airport. Gee, didn't I just read a story that they lied about their tests? And yes, it has that type of continual X-ray. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen, all radioactivity is cumulative. You don't get 10 rads one day and to be out of your body the next day and get another 10 or another 20 or another 30. It is all building up, and with it comes cellular destruction. And with cellular destruction comes organ failure. And with organ failure comes death. Gee, is that so hard? But look, then we get the BS Bravo Sierra story that all of the sensors on the West Coast and of our government are down for repair. I don't buy that. It's horse manure. It's total horse manure. Yet what spineless jellyfish, what pond scum, and I use that word with not enough embellishment, representative or senators writing the occasion say, this is crazy, you know?
Well, yeah, they ridicule you and I for, shouting out the alarm about this stuff, like cover your garden at the very least and stay away from the spinach and the milk right now.
Yeah, and don't go on marathon runs in the Northwest. And, I want to say something, and I'm fighting to say something, but, we used to have a statement, what's the matter with that guy? Does he have X for brains, Well, now people are swimming in the X, they're walking in the X, they're smelling the X, and the word for X is the other word for defecant, okay? The thing is, and they're going, gee, I don't see it, I don't smell it, I don't know what's going on. And meanwhile, it's getting up and up to their neck, and they're going, gee, it's getting harder to move. Well, what do they need? A taste for X before you understand it's raining X?
You know what breaks my heart, and I see how absolute evil these people are, is that they know it's in the milk, and they quit testing it so they can have cover, I guess, plausible denial. And they've increased the standards 1,000 times more than are safe, and there is no safe level, folks. But knowing that it's in the milk, they are still delivering this to our children in schools every day. They know it. And this is what's so criminal and so evil, is that they are poisoning and killing off the children of this planet and making the next generation infertile. And, yeah, we can live the next 5 or 10 years and manage our cancer, but it's absolutely just breaks my heart that I guess I don't want to create a worldwide panic, but it also tells me, since there's no effort whatsoever to stop these things, this is the kill shot.
Absolutely. Let me share this, too, with people, because if they don't understand where food is headed, if they don't understand the soybean crops are, 7 to 10% less than last year, and the wheat is not coming up, and all these things. I mean, what do they think they're going to live on? Love? And it's just like, again, let me say something about the silver market. If you're going to go into the metals markets to protect your purchasing power, right now, okay, let me give you a good example. 330 is up, silver's up 330, so into 3.30%, it's up $1.21. Yesterday it was up 4.7, so that's 8% in 2 days. That would be the equivalent, okay? If people are banking $1 million, $100,000, I know people that do that because they want the safety of the banks. And then the lady that basically oversees the FDIC comes out and says, unless Congress gives us money, we don't have any money for the guarantee. So, ladies and gentlemen, for instance, like today, I literally every day, and I want to share how I do things different than most people in the silver market. Every day I scour the country, the biggest dealers and the biggest distributors to see what they have. So like today, I have access right now. I can sell 10,000 silver Philharmonics. They're made in Austria. In my opinion, you've seen them, John. They're one of the most beautiful silver coins.
Yep.
And when I say that on the radio, it only takes usually 1 day to 2 days, and they're all gone. So if anybody wants silver in their hand, look, the web bots are saying there will be no silver available. Now, do I put all my faith in the web bots? My answer is no. I put no faith in the web bots. I put my faith in God. But I take all the information available to try and put it into the balance and see, does it match with what I'm hearing? For the record, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of stuff that shows up in the web bots, I don't flatter myself, comes off my website because all the websites are scanned, and then if somebody sees something on my website and 10 people start talking about it and they go on boards, blah, 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 that's how it comes off. So what I'm telling you is that it's already happened, what I stated would happen almost 10 years ago. The spot market, which is the physical cost of silver, which still is set by the paper market, that end is coming. China is going to go with their own gold ETF and their own silver ETF, exchange traded fund, and they're going to demand the physicals be there. And China is not going to allow naked shorting. You steal in China, you get basically, you get executed, and your organs get sold on the market. So, the Chinese have a stricter financial discipline than the United States of America. So
we used to. And
yeah.
Folks, if you've been listening any time at all, because Steve's been reporting it, and I take the news stories from his website, as so many do, and I prominently try to get it out to you, that the federal government is now raiding the federal pension plans because they're broke. And now next in line is your 401k. So you may have your retirement, you sit in the bank, and you got your little digits, and you don't even know where they're invested, and they're not going to bail you out. They are on pace to rob you and steal you, just like Argentina did in so many decaying democracies, that if you've got it in the bank, you don't have it.
Well, and again, it will be convenient when the internet shuts down and all, online banking and everything. And look, I want to share everything with, those of you who do online banking, I suggest you get back into the old way of doing it. If you only had a clue of how much cyber terrorism and cyber financial crimes are committed and what a pain in the neck it can be during the best of time to get your money back. The thing is, see, John, again, silver has always been since biblical times, God created along with gold. It is trading. Now there's probably 100, no, that's wrong, 1,000 news stories today on gold being remonetized, meaning even the people that had euro currency that used to be promised the panacea, the cure-all to all currency fluctuations, are now turning to gold coins. And ladies and gentlemen, again, if you want to call me or call my store, 406-586-4840, I have Philharmonics, silver Philharmonics available. John, I was told by the biggest supplier to all dealers across the country that they won't even have silver, their rounds or bars available until July 27th. Gee, that's after my cutoff date of June 21st. So I'm not saying that you won't be able to get silver after June 21st. I'm just saying that the economies of the world are absolutely in dire straits. So do I need to apologize to the people I put into silver that make 8% in 2 days versus those who put their money into the bank? Look, Jesus told the parable of the stewards. Putting your money in a CD at 1%, that's burying your money. It's just burying it. And most people are too lazy. And look, I've been in this business 30 years. They are too lazy to take management of their own funds. Now, that's not true of your listeners and my listeners, but the general population, 0.3% of the population right now buys metals. During the Hunt brother days, it was 3%. Take the spot prices now times 10, just if the liquidity that was present then becomes present now in the metals, you get a feel for where they're going. That puts silver at 380 to 400 an ounce, and gold anywhere from 10 to 15,000 an ounce.
I know for a fact what Steve's telling you is true because I've got some friends that are in the silver business. They've been brokers for years and did a wonderful thing about putting all this silver here in Montana. And we literally put 100,000 ounces into the Flathead for the purpose of having a reserve currency or some way to keep us in business when the inevitable happens. And we are bankrupt and quantity easing 3 is going to happen. And, yeah, you'll still have Federal Reserve notes. I mean, I went to the gas station yesterday, filled up my car. It was $88. I'm a smoker. It's no secret about that. And you can criticize me if you want. But it used to be Pam and I would buy 2 cartons a week and fill up the car, $65. To do that same thing today is $220. Probably a year from now, it's going to be available, but it'll probably be $800. And that's just the way it's going. But I want to caution folks, too, about the silver business. Because it is such a hot commodity and people are finally waking up, some are, there are a lot of Johnny-come-latelys in this business that I would be so leery of. You've got to deal with a reputable person, somebody who can actually deliver the product, because some of the biggest silver guys you hear on the radio have called my guys, and probably Steve too, panicked because they can't cover what they sold. They sell stuff that they don't have the inventory for, and I can tell you Mr. Steve Quayle does not do that. Have you seen that to be true, Steve?
Absolutely. I get calls too. See what they're doing, and this is what people have got to be aware of, and you can go on the internet and do your own searches. Your first question is, how can I get it? And the second question is, what will it cost me? Or how soon can I get it? The thing that, John, people do in the silver business, you know when you are handling it, they will say, I'll sell silver at $2 or $3 over spot, okay, whatever it is on the day. And then the price of silver goes up, and they didn't cover their position in the futures market, and so now they've got to come up with silver to cover their clients. Well, what that does to a big company is when they're short silver, meaning they don't have the physical silver to cover the sales of their clients, or forgive me, the sales to their clients, then they're in a problem, because if you get enough silver out, then you can go bankrupt, okay? And the biggest scams in the metals business, I guess after 3 decades, I have a little bit of insight and a little bit of working knowledge in this, the biggest scams have been on people who trusted someone else to hold their silver or metals for them. So the point that I'm trying to make is this. If you call my store today, for instance, 406-586-4840, you want to get some silver, the point is that we cannot and will not sell what we don't have. But fortunately, we have 10,000 ounces of silver Philharmonics. And all the gold, by the way, gold's available. You can get any denomination of gold pretty much any place except the fractionals. That's not as available. But pretty much anything. But the silver, that ought to tell you where the next big run is going to be. So if you're going to whine about a $5 movement down and then clap your hands at a genius of a $5 movement up, you've got to understand. And so it doesn't matter how many times I put up alerts, I have said the most extreme and violent volatility in the history of the metals market is going to be present. You've got to understand, you buy to acquire and hold for later barter, because, and it seems to me that Christians miss a big point. How are they going to be able to buy stuff and sell stuff if they're still out there and they have not anything medium of exchange? Look, I had a lady, God bless her, she sent me an email. She didn't even believe in silver or gold, but she prayed and asked the Lord. God gave her a dream. A Russian border guard, he said, we will let you out if you have gold. This is the lady, understand, a lady sent me an email saying this. And so the lady sends me the email, and she said, in her dream, the Russian guard said, your gold for your life. She said, but I have some silver. He said, silver is to buy food. Gold is to buy your life. So she took that to mean, she interpreted it real simple. Look, if she has to bribe, and so many people around the world, from Vietnam, Southeast Asia, Latin America, South America, Europe, that gold can be literally a lifeline. That's not saying you don't trust Jesus. God provided for Jesus through the wise men gold, frankincense, and myrrh. He didn't give him Federal Reserve notes, ETF funds, and IOUs from bankrupt banks,